It's Canterbury Trails Farm, and I'm going to show you a real quick project video that took me about 30 minutes to whip out, and these are really fun, and you could make a whole bunch of these really quick. So this is just a little ornament, or you could put it on a gift. It's a little Santa Claus, and what you're going to do is you're going to do a two-part tube, and I am using, like I often do, the inner circle of a Studio 12 flower loom as my loom. You can use little looms. There's smaller looms than that. This one has a 2-inch diameter, and it gives me a real tight knit. I know a lot of people are that watch my video just went and found these at Goodwill or eBay or whatever, because I do so many videos using this, and they just wanted to emulate what I was doing, and it just makes things easier. If you don't have a small loom, there's also this flexi loom that you can build your own loom the size that you want. You know, up to a certain, it includes like 96 pegs, I think. But I'm just using this one, and so if you want to strive for something around a 2-inch diameter, if you're doing it bigger, it's just gonna a bigger loom. It's going to make a bigger ornament. So if you're okay with that, that's fine. So what I did is I loom knitted for approximately 3 inches. Did the red. Then I tied a knot in my yarn and changed to white, and I loom knitted for almost 2 inches. So you end up with this two-colored tube. And I'm going to go around the top and just do like a purse string like you would if you were taking it off. I'm just going to gather it. And then I'm going to do a few stitches. It's not going to show, so you don't have to do it super neat. Now, before we go any further, you're going to need a flesh tone yarn. It can be whatever color you need it to be. If you want to make them an African American Santa, that's fine. Any kind of peach or whatever. And I didn't have a peach, so I'm doing like a light pink, which will work. You just want something a little bit different than the white, because we're going to be basically cross-stitching his face. I do get some questions about the needles I use. These are like a nice steel upholstery needle with a big eye. They're very sharp, so I do poke myself frequently. You can find these in the needle section of like Joann's or Hobby Lobby or wherever you get your fabric. I'm going to go ahead and stuff my Santa tube. You don't want to like pack them so he's super hard. You want to make him a little squishy here. I'm going to find where I want his face to be. And let's go up about 3 rows. First of all, let's tie his neck off. That'll help him. So around the part where the white connects with the red, just going to tie a piece of yarn. Tie it off. That's going to just help you see the part that's going to be his head. I'm going to go up about 2-3 rows. And I'm just going to do, since you can't do a knot, when I get up here I'm just going to pull it in very gently, and I'm just going to go loop back around that one. Hold it as you pull it, so you don't want to pull it out, you want to leave it in there. I'm just going to go over to the other side of the X. I'm just making an X. I'm using the little row as my guideline. And I'm making an X. I'm going to come out on the next row. I'm going to make another X. I'm just doing 2 of those, 2 X's. That's going to be sort of where his mouth would be, in between a mustache and a beard. Alright, when I come out, I'm going to make my yarn go all the way over here, next on top of the first X. And now I'm going to do, on that row, I'm going to do 3 X's across, and I'm going to, what would be above the mustache where his eyes are. And you can cross back over or whatever, I mean it doesn't matter, just as long as you get the X's on there, because you just want to make that look a little bit like his face, because he wouldn't have a completely white face where his beard is. So, and then I'm going to go over. So I'm going to do, did one row of 2, and now I'm doing a row of 4. Okay, and I'm going right above that. I'm going to do one more row. This light pink is sort of really hard to see against the white, so it probably would have been easier if I had a peach. But I really just had like a dark peach, and when I did a test run, it looks sort of more like an orange. So we did one row of 2, and then we left a little bit of white, and then we skipped up there and did, here, this one's probably easy to see. So one row of 2, skipped like 1 or 2 little pieces of the white, like an X, and then I did 4 rows. 3 rows of 4 across, just to make a little bit of a face. Then I'm just going to use a piece of black yarn. I'm going to sew on if you didn't want to sew size, you could always sew by, like at the store we have you can get like the made for, they're just little brown black hold on, I have a cat visitor. They're like made for making teddy bears, just little round black 1/4 or 7 millimeter. They're just little black plastic. You can use them for making stuffed animals, or you can just do, if you don't want to buy anything, just use the black yarn like I'm doing. Now what I usually do for the nose is I just grab some of the stitches and I just sort of pinch it and pull it, and it'll make like a nose shape. Alright, at the bottom, I'm going to go close them up, and I'm just going to tie it here, and I'm going to tie a knot because it's not hooked on. And I'm just going to go around and going to do like a purse string, purse stitch, like for a drawstring. And just in and out, go around. Squish them, squish them, squish them. Now I'm going to take a piece of black yarn to make his belt. Just going to wrap it around the middle of him. And this is optional, you wouldn't have to do this if you don't like the look or whatever. I'm going to tie it just slightly enough that it doesn't come off. You could also use black felt or black ribbon. Just give them the belt look. And for the hat, I used the same loom, the same middle part, and I did the same thing. I loom knitted for, it looks like, well, I start with the white. Sorry, start with the white, and about 1 inch of white, and then I tied it to the red, and then for the red I did 2 inches, and I'm going to cinch that up here. Do a few stitches at the top to secure it. Now while I'm up here, I'm going to go ahead and make the loop, but we're still going to put a little white ball on the end of the hat. Okay, just make a loop here to hang him with, and then I'm just going to do a stitch to secure that. For the little ball, I'm just going to take a little bit of the fiber fill and sort of do it in like a little ball here, and then I'm going to get a needle and thread, and taking my little ball, I'm going to go through it, make a stitch really on like on 4 sides, like you're doing sort of a package, just, and then I'm going to just sew it to the top center of the hat. You could glue this too if you wanted to. After you need to make the little ball first, but after that you could glue. I think you could probably buy little tiny, I think you can, little tiny white pom-pom, like plush ones. Alright, then we're going to roll up the hat brim. So now we have a little Santa hat, which are cute by themselves, just making little Santa hats too for the little an ornament. And then I'm just going to stick his hair. And I'm going to do a few stitches to hold the hat on. there we have it. 2 Santas. So that's the easy little Santa ornament. And like I said, they look real cute on gifts or hanging on the tree. They're awesome if you have a toddler who wants to destroy everything on your tree. You can make a bunch of these and they can get thrown around and they will be okay. And it will preserve your regular ornaments for a few years in a box till you can start putting them on the tree. This has been Canterbury Trails Farm, and I hope you enjoyed making the Santa Claus ornaments with us. We'll see you soon. Bye.